Alright, you guys, we're in search of Jameson whiskey. We're in Dublin, Ireland. My little goat's growing very slowly. So we're on a mission to find Jameson whiskey. I made it. I've been walking around looking for you. Hey guys, welcome back to Is Your Six Covered. This should be a fun video for those of you that like to have some cocktails. I know quite a few of my friends out there, and you know who you are, enjoy a nice bit of whiskey. And when we're lucky enough, we can get some Jameson. So I figured you guys, as long as myself, would enjoy the tour of Jameson Distillery here in Dublin, Ireland. Had a chance to go on vacation and travel all over the British Isles. And one of the stops was Dublin, and if you stop in Dublin, well, hell, you got to stop at the distillery and have a shot of morning breakfast whiskey at 10 o'clock in the morning. So here's the tour. Here's kind of the bar section area. Has a lot of stuff where you can, if you just walk in there and you don't have a chance to do a tour, you can get a lot of good information, see a lot of cool stuff. There's Mr. Jameson himself. And a lot of how the processes work. But when you get into the tour, I think the tour was $40. They really get in depth. They talk about the reasons why they do certain things for the taste. All this distilled 3 times. You try out 3 different types of whiskey. And then at the end of the tour, you get a shot of whiskey, or you can have a drink with whiskey in it. So I went for the shot, and I had to bring up a great YouTube channel that you'll see at the end, that I always love his little thing before he takes a shot. So hopefully you watch this video and I definitely get over to his channel because he's a great guy. But with that said, there's a lot of cool information. It showed the progression of the bottles from years past and how they changed the logos and the reasons why. Really neat building, really built well, very old building. Place has been around for 230 years, I think it said. So they definitely been around, they know what they're doing. They make a great whiskey. Maybe not so much for breakfast, but when in Rome, right? So when in Dublin, have some breakfast whiskey. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. It's getting windy here for some reason. And at the end of the, gotta say, it was a good time. Hope you enjoy it. I know I had fun. A little early to be drinking whiskey, but when in Rome, do as the Romans. Here's my ticket to get into my tour. Here's Mr. Jameson and his wife. And some of the old bottles, some of the original bottles they had, which is kind of cool to see. The scales, that's the scale there. They used to try to cheat Jameson by wetting the wheat, or whatever the hell it's made out of. But it was fun. It was fun, definitely enjoyable. The chandelier was... There's a couple of those, and they made out of all Jameson bottles. That was pretty neat. Here's a couple more, just a few more pictures, and then there's a video. Especially at the end of me walking around Dublin, Ireland, trying to find this place. So it'll give you kind of some insight on what the city looks like. Definitely a good time. It was fun. But here's where the tour started. Hope you guys enjoy.
Have the right amount of alcohol we need to make Jamesons. We catch them and turn them back into liquid by cooling them down. It's a very similar process to how steam from a kettle hits cold glass and turns back into liquid. Very similar to that. It's the same kind of scientific principle. So the second still is called the fade still, and what we're doing here is we're taking all these alcohol vapors that are back in liquid form and we're going to boil them up again. And normally in Scotland they stop after the second distillation. They only distill twice, but clearly as an entire industry we always triple distill. So our third and final still is called our spirit still, because this is where John Jameson was happy with the level of smoothness he'd gotten after the third distillation. And when you triple distill using old-fashioned copper pot stills like these, you have a type of whiskey here called pot still whiskey. And pot still whiskey, folks,
All right, at Jameson, as Mr. Holster would say, to the sunny slopes of long ago. Look at the chandelier up here. All Jameson bottles. Cheers. Very, very smooth. I like it. So coming up here in a second is a bottle that you can only get from the distillery, and you can also have your name custom done to it. So I had a chance, and I made one for my son. He's only 16. So when he gets married, we're gonna open that bottle, and then I also had one done
So
for
far,
the family
we went to
vacation,
Guernsey.
which will definitely be open prior to that.
We've had
But
drinks
great, enjoyable
at
time.
the oldest pub.
And definitely
We
was
went to
excited to
Cork.
get something that you can only get at the distillery.
And we went to the oldest pub.
You guys take care.
Had a chance to have a
Have
drink
fun.
with my
Here's a little tour of
16-year-old
Dublin,
son.
Ireland. Me running the
That was
streets
kinda
looking for Jameson
Here's the
Distillery.
buildings.
So if you get a
Most of
chance,
the
check
roads
out
are
the sites. Definitely worth it. See you guys on the next video. Bye.
Kind of down the back alleyways here, trying to find Irish rock and roll music museum. The Beatles. All right. After some walking, we made it. Here's the building. It's 230 years. Let's go see if we can find the front entrance. We're getting closer